I think all of life is a balance, right? Whether you're talking about nutrition, work, anything like that, So you obviously got the work hard, play hard, common phrase. I do believe in that. I think it's ebbed and flowed throughout, my career. The first business that I owned was, maybe 12 years ago now. And for a while, I was definitely putting in, 6 long days a week. But it wasn't always like that. And, when I approached it from the very start, my goal was to get myself out of the day to day. And so I would say about 3 months in was when we got our very first employee that could take over running that business. And it allowed me to work on the business. That's obviously a very common tactic to build and grow your business, but it's also a good way to improve that work-life balance, right? When you're part of the day-to-day, you're needed on a day-to-day. When you've been able to build to a point where you kind of rise above that and you're building the business, you can take 2 weeks off because it doesn't need to grow, 365 days a year. So I think over the years, especially as my wife got more vacation time in her, more typical job, we've been able to travel more and more, but it's always been a balance for me. And I think all aspects of life are.